Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're looking at a really interesting piece today. It's called A Shared Future. Future Setters and Lóng Tíng Align.
Right. And the title itself, A Shared Future, it sort of sets a tone, doesn't it?
It does. And the source immediately says, you're not just pressing play, you're stepping into a story. So it's framing this as a narrative right from the get-go.
Exactly. A story that spans quite a distance, too. It mentions Abia State in Nigeria, then Berlin, Bangkok, Hanoi.
Yeah, that global reach hits you straight away.
Right.
This isn't just a local thing.
Not at all. But, you know, it emphasizes something maybe even more foundational than the geography.
What's it?
This idea of alignment, not just collaboration, but alignment of values, vision, and voice.
Ah, okay. That's a key distinction. Alignment. It sounds deeper, more integrated than just working together on projects.
It does, doesn't it? It suggests they're operating from the same core principles, kind of like vibrating on the same frequency, as the text puts it later. A shared pulse.
Right. Not just doing things together, but really believing in the same why.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that why, their shared mission, is stated very clearly. To grow leaders, uplift voices, and reimagine what's possible for the next generation.
And that's pretty much our goal for this deep dive too, right?
Yeah.
To unpack how they're actually trying to achieve that through this alignment.
Exactly. We'll go through the source bit by bit, see what it reveals.
Okay, so let's start where the text starts, with this concept of alignment. That opening line, stepping into a story, it feels very intentional.
It really does. It draws you in. And those locations, Abia State, Berlin, Bangkok, Hanoi, they immediately paint this big, diverse picture.
Yeah, quite the stage. So this alignment of values, vision, voice, how is that practically different from, say, just a standard partnership? What does it look like on the ground based on this text?
Well, think about their shared mission growing leaders, uplifting voices. Alignment of values means they fundamentally agree on what's important in that process.
Okay.
Alignment of vision means they're aiming for the same end goal, the same future.
Right.
And alignment of voice. That suggests they communicate about it consistently, maybe with a similar tone, a similar honesty, across their different platforms.
So it's less about the operational mechanics at first and more about this shared philosophical foundation.
I think so, yeah. That seems to be the bedrock for everything else they describe.
Makes sense. That bedrock supporting the mission.
Ah,
It's the anchor for the whole story.
exactly.
Okay, so let's follow the text's structure. It zooms in first on the Future Setters Institute, FSI, based in Abia State, Nigeria, described as a vibrant force of education and empowerment.
Vibrant force. Yeah, that definitely conveys energy, impact. And their focus areas are listed. Leadership, personal development, and work ethics.
Pretty foundational stuff for young people finding their way.
Absolutely. But then it quickly adds it's more than curriculum, which feels significant.
How so?
It talks about community, mentorship, and there's that line about their approach, walking beside young people, not ahead of them.
Oh, I like that image. It suggests support, guidance, not just top-down instruction.
Exactly. And it links to another phrase about their philosophy. Growth doesn't shout. It listens.
That really flips the script, doesn't it? It's about being responsive, understanding needs, not just delivering a preset program.
You see that listening in the specific things they do, like powerful school debates that's about voice.
Right.
Then there are 10-day drug awareness campaigns tackling tough real-world issues.
Okay.
Consistency challenges, confidence workshops, teaching women to lead, inviting boys to reflect. It's a whole mix, building skills, resilience, self-awareness.
It sounds very holistic, addressing the individual, but also social dynamics, like with the specific mentions for women and boys.
Definitely. And they take this approach online, too, with their youth development show on YouTube every Sunday.
And what's the focus there?
The text says it's a space for vulnerability and vision. They talk openly about things like depression, authenticity, business purpose, really crucial topics.
Wow, so they're creating what the text calls honest spaces, real tools, a map, a mirror, a moment.
Yeah, that's a great summary. It's not just about skills, it's about emotional intelligence, self-understanding, direction, and just having a space to process things.
Right.
The map for direction, the mirror for reflection, the moment for that vulnerability.
What really comes through about FSI is how deeply rooted it seems in community engagement, in listening, and building those core personal strengths.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now the source shifts focus, moving eastward to Lóng Tíng Enterprises, operates across Europe and Asia.
Right, and the description is intriguing. Born at the crossroads of ancient insight and modern innovation.
That is interesting. Ancient insight, modern innovation. suggests a blend of tradition and, well, future focus.
And again, it's framed as more than a company. It's called an ecosystem, a constellation of 6 dynamic divisions.
Ecosystem.
Yeah.
Implies interconnectedness, right? Things working together. And those 6 divisions are incredibly varied.
They really are. Let's see. Musical storytelling bridging cultures, queer media reclaiming narratives, inclusive coaching shifting mindsets, culturally rooted games that teach, intercultural concerts celebrating connection, and renewable energy systems powering the future.
Wow. That's quite a range.
Yeah.
Music, media, coaching, games, events, even green energy. How do all these fit together under one roof? What's the common thread?
The text offers a clue. It says they don't just create, they choreograph transformation.
Choreographed transformation. That sounds very deliberate, very artistic, even across something like renewable energy.
It does. It suggests an intentional orchestration of change, not just random projects. And their main focus areas are listed as leadership, art, and sustainability.
Ah.
And crucially, it adds all done with a deep sense of soul.
So maybe that's the link. These diverse divisions, music, media, energy, etc., are perhaps the different ways they explore and foster leadership, art, and sustainability, all guided by this deeper soul or purpose.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. That deep sense of soul as the unifying element across all this diversity.
And the source connects this idea of transformation and soulful leadership directly to a specific output, doesn't it? A book.
Yes. Global Leadership Insights 2030. This seems really central to understanding their specific take on leadership.
And the author has links to both organizations.
That's right, Oliver Werner Neidinger. He's director of programs at FSI and the founder of Lóng Tíng, so he literally embodies the connection.
Okay, so the book isn't just some separate project. It's presented as emerging from this whole ecosystem, bringing their kind of leadership to life.
Exactly. And it's described as not a manual, it's a movement built on stories, strategies, global voices.
So if it's a movement, not just a how-to guide, what is the core definition of leadership that this movement is pushing forward, according to the text?
This is really key to their whole shared philosophy. The text says the leadership explored in the book is grounded in empathy, driven by values, and shaped by cultural intelligence.
Empathy, values, cultural intelligence. That feels like a significant shift from older models of leadership, just based on authority or technical skill.
Absolutely. Empathy and values put the focus squarely on the internal compass, the ethical core.
And cultural intelligence. That must be vital given they operate between Nigeria, Europe, and Asia. It means understanding and navigating different cultural contexts effectively.
Critically important for global work, yes.
And then it culminates in that phrase, leading with more than authority, with soul.
Yeah, that adds another dimension. It's not just what you do or how you adapt culturally, but about your intention, your authenticity, who you are being as a leader.
Rooted in purpose.
Exactly.
And the text invites people to read the book if they want to co-create the world, not just manage it. Co-create with courage, clarity, connection.
That idea of co-creation fits perfectly with this leadership model, doesn't it? Empathy, values, cultural intelligence, soul. It's all about active, conscious, collaborative engagement with the world.
It really is. And bringing it back to the alignment we started with, this specific vision of soulful, empathetic, culturally intelligent leadership seems to be the core belief that FSI and Lóng Tíng share.
Yes. Their individual efforts, their different pulses combine because of this shared belief, becoming that shared wind, a current, a global movement.
And the source makes a point of saying the partnership isn't based on them being similar organizations.
No, it explicitly says it's about that shared belief, and it even lists some specifics.
What are they?
3 core shared beliefs. That every young person deserves a voice, that every dream deserves a mentor, and that leadership is not about position, it's about presence.
Leadership is about presence, not position.
Yeah.
That really challenges the traditional view of leadership as just a title or rank. It makes it about how you show up, how you interact.
Exactly. And then comes what might be the most powerful assertion, and presence can be taught.
Wow. That's quite a statement. Taking this somewhat abstract idea of presence and saying it's a skill, something you can actually learn and develop.
It makes it actionable. And it connects perfectly with FSI's focus on personal development and LTE's coaching work. It suggests they have methods to actually cultivate this kind of leadership presence.
So, okay, we have this alignment, these shared beliefs, this specific vision of leadership.
Yeah.
How does it actually manifest in practice? The text mentions specific plans for 2025.
Right, this is where the collaboration becomes really tangible. They list monthly programs addressing real-life challenges.
Okay, practical application.
Weekly shows that nurture resilience, perhaps building on that FSI YouTube show concept, maybe expanding it. Then there's cross-border visibility using YouTube, LinkedIn, even live global stages to get the message out and connect people.
So leveraging digital and physical platforms.
And, importantly, a mentorship network that knows no borders and no limits.
So that globalizes the mentorship principle we saw with FSI, extending that walking beside idea across continents.
Exactly. Using technology and networks to connect mentors and mentees regardless of location.
It sounds like a really integrated plan. You've got structured programs, ongoing media content for resilience and connection, efforts to increase visibility, and this core mentorship piece tying it together globally.
It really does. The source sums up the journey nicely. From Abia State to Berlin. From digital storytelling to real-world coaching. From ancient scrolls to future scroll bars.
That captures the geography, the methods, and that blend of tradition and modernity we talked about earlier.
Precisely.
And one last thing the text includes are these direct messages, these affirmations aimed at specific groups in their community. That feels like a really human touch.
It does. There's a message for teachers. Your role is sacred. That's a powerful validation of educators.
Absolutely.
And then repeated twice, which really emphasizes it, a message for every youth mentor. Your words matter, underlining the impact of that individual guidance.
Yeah, repetition makes you notice.
And also repeated, a message for young people who feel overlooked. We see you, we hear you, we believe in your future, and we're walking it with you.
That's incredibly affirming. Offering recognition, belief, and that promise of accompaniment, it connects the big global mission right back to the individual.
It really grounds it all.
Okay, so let's recap briefly. We've unpacked this source about the alignment between Future Setters Institute in Nigeria and Lóng Tíng Enterprises across Europe and Asia.
We've seen how there's shared belief in youth potential and a very specific kind of leadership, empathetic, value-driven, culturally intelligent, soulful forms the core of their partnership.
We looked at FSI's community-focused work, LTE's diverse ecosystem, and how the book Global Leadership Insights 2030 crystallizes their leadership vision.
And we saw how this translates into action through their 2025 initiatives programs, media, mentorship, all operating globally, all underpinned by those direct, affirming messages to their community.
It paints a picture of a very intentional, globally connected effort focused on empowering young people with a particular kind of conscious leadership capability.
Definitely.
Which brings us to a final thought, really sparked by the closing lines of the source. It ends by saying, "We are connected with your future," and includes that line in Chinese, which reinforces the same idea.
Yeah, your future is intimately connected with us.
Right. So what does it really mean when organizations like these, working across cultures, redefining leadership, focusing on youth and co-creation, what does it mean when they declare such a direct connection with your future, the listener's future? What future are they inviting you, the listener, to co-create? And how does that idea of presence leadership fit into that invitation?
That's a great question to ponder. It shifts the dynamic, doesn't it? It's not just about them doing things for youth, but about being fundamentally interconnected with the future we're all building. It suggests a shared responsibility, maybe even an invitation for you to cultivate that kind of presence in whatever role you play. It's a powerful statement of interdependence.
A compelling place to leave it. That's our deep dive into a shared future. Future Setters and Lóng Tíng align.